Hello everybody and welcome on in. So, I've been playing the flamethrower build and it has changed my life for real. This is one of the best abilities that Firestaff has and I slept on it for way too long. If you guys haven't tried some Firestaff flamethrower, I know it just sounds silly in PvP, but it is ridiculously good for what it does well, and that is zoning an opponent out and being able to apply a lot of pressure at that awkward medium distance during a melee fight. And of course, I got an update on the build for you guys today. You can find the update at the end of this video. I just quickly go over the changes from the original build. But for the most part, nothing super huge has changed, just a few gear changes and the Firestaff mastery, of course. And if you want to see a written guide to the original build, there's a link down in the description for you guys too. And let's get into the commentary. So, as you can see, I managed to pull a few players there, got a good kill on the very squishy sword and board player that came there. A lot of sword and board player one-shot builds going around, and then I jump on top of the heavier armor player here, just kind of feeding him some damage with my Rapier, getting good pressure on him, switch to the flamethrower right away. He ends up taking a lot of damage from that flamethrower, the backstab from behind, very effective. He's just out of range here. And the enemy healer, I think, is trying to throw him the heal, but he ends up running too far away to get the support that he needs from the friendly player there. And I go to chase the healer. Of course, the healer is in a very tanky setup, and he ends up pulling the ice gauntlet out, and chasing him just ends up being very annoying. So I decide to go back into the outpost. And yeah, just the first clip to kind of warm up there. Let's move on to the next fight. And it's right outside the enemy spawn here. I do really like sitting here in Outpost Rush, just kind of by myself. You get some good solo fights and stuff like that. The first player just ends up running off the edge. He ignores me, and I manage to get the attention of the next Great Axe player there. He right away goes for that heavy attack pressure. I roll away from it, break a bit of distance from the group, and then go for the burnout through everybody. They trap me inside the gravity well of hell. I try to go for the riposte, unfortunately taking a lot of damage from that enemy combo there because the riposte didn't end up going off. And then I switch to the flamethrower here, try to get some pressure on that guy as he jumps off the edge. And just a little bit of a kite like that. This spot is kind of nice too, because if you get swarmed really bad, some people just decide not to commit. And here I just go back around the outside. The enemy Ice Gauntlet player goes for the Ice Shower. I love Flamethrower for fighting an Ice Gauntlet player because I no longer have to get so close to them that that's such a threat. And there you see I was able to just apply some nice pressure to him without having to jump into the dangerous area there. He ends up trying to go for pressure on me here. I switch back into the Flamethrower after throwing the Fireball on him. And the Firestaff alone bringing in the kill there. 200 intelligence Firestaff Flamethrower. Honestly, so strong. Go for the pressure on top of the enemy melee player here as he tries to kite backwards. He switches to his blunderbuss, starts shooting some stuff at me. And against the blunderbuss, flamethrower I actually find is not very effective. The blunderbuss has more range than the flamethrower and can definitely deliver some really decisive burst damage if you're not careful, especially since I'm in light armor. So I back up behind the rocks here again. And if I want to go for pressure on the blunderbuss player, I really need to get close to him with the rapier. And I switch targets back to the enemy mage who's re-engaged in the fight here. He throws down his ice wall again. I have no intention of going close to that right now. I know it's coming. He continues to keep pressure on me here with his magic attacks as the enemy Great Axe Blunderbuss player keeps pressure on too. I get caught in that gravity well, just managed to roll out of it in time, use the evade to give myself the additional stamina I need. Super important that I don't burn my stamina entirely in those situations, otherwise I would die probably instantly because I can't dodge any more attacks. And here the blunderbuss player continues to go for pressure. I try to catch him with the riposte there. He does a great job holding the heavy. Go for a quick flesh through him to get some good damage. And the enemy mage player ends up popping behind me here. He goes for his ice shower into the ice spike. Again, I know the ice shower's coming. Frost Gauntlet players, you got to be less obvious running up to people with it if you want to catch him. And I just stay away from him there. Go for a little bit of a kite again, trying to keep up pressure on the enemy melee player. He goes for the whirlwind. Whirlwind actually I find can sometimes pull you out of your dodge if you don't time the dodge correctly, but that time I managed to get through it nicely. This guy's firing his ice spike way too early. I think he's expecting to land the heavy attack and then going for the ice spike. Whenever the ice shower comes down like that, or sorry, the ice storm, I know right away to make sure to dodge that next heavy attack. That's just the best way to avoid taking the pressure from that. Managed to get the kill on the enemy mage player again. And then I get a good riposte on the Great Axe player, and I realize now that my food buff is actually down. And the food buff I'm running actually gives me the 200 intelligence and the 150 constitution passive, so I'm running out of mana very quickly here, and I'm just trying to use my rapier as much as possible against this guy. The enemy mage has come back though, so I'm definitely thinking I'm going to have to reposition and do my best to try to get that food buff off. Get a nice fireball there, and then go for the burnout through him, burning the mana a little bit. And I just kind of fenced the enemy player there, trying to keep a little bit of pressure just to see if I can get him to back up from incoming damage or something. And there it is. I do manage to get him to back up a little bit, go behind the tree, and now I finally have both players line of sighted. I hit the wrong key here and hit equip, but that's okay. My battle bread is actually out of juice here, so I have the slot open and I'm able to eat the food just like that from my quick bar. And now I got my mana back, so that's good. Go for the pressure on top of the enemy mage. Huge combo there with the flesh, and I don't know if his stam was down. I didn't see it there, but he just kind of ate all of that and went down. A nice riposte, kind of timing the incoming heavy attack from the Great Axe player there. And then I quickly switch to the flamethrower. You can see, does a great job just kind of zoning him back a little bit. Go for the burnout through him to apply the pressure. I try to go for a flesh combo on him, but he ends up charging towards me as I do it, so I miss the backstab pretty bad. Throw down the fireball, hitting 3 targets with a fireball, really high chance of critting. Do get my keen speed there, and you can see just the mobility of this build thanks to that keen speed. Quickly managed to peel away and then reset with the flamethrower. More players are slowly converging on the spot here. And there's the gravity well of hell. It does so much damage to me when the players hack, but I managed to get a riposte off and then quickly slide out of there with the dodge roll. The enemy's got so much stuff coming down. More gravity wells, the ice shower. There's the incoming whirlwind as well. I try to just get a cheeky heavy attack poke off there, but ends up not working out so well. And here's, I think, where I make my chief mistake. I get aggressive, and I really just expose my position, put myself in a really bad spot, and the traps will come down, and I just don't have the durability to survive it. So let's take a quick peek at what's changed in the build. None of the attribute points have really changed, just kind of dumping my extras and health. The fire staff, of course, I'm running the full flamethrower tree, the rest of it being damage oriented. Nothing's changed in the rapier tree. And then for the rapier fire staff, no changes with the fire staff, but the rapier I've been playing around with rogue, keenly empowered versus the refreshing move from before. Of course, got to have that resilient, sundering riposte. Empowering fireball, refreshing is a good perk. Shirking energy, a massive one to have now. Freedom, always great too. And then no changes to the jewelry, just kind of running the Abyss purple jewelry for PvP. I've got one kind of silly last clip. I hope you guys like it as I say goodbye. If you want to catch that live gameplay, you can find me on Twitch. Links below for you. Of course, there's a link to my Twitter there too if you want to keep up to date with what's going on. I've got the New World Top 5 Battle Series. If you've got an awesome clip that you want to send in for the New World Top 5, you can send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. And of course, check out my website, pvpnewworld.com, if you want to see written guides to this build and many more. This show is sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They can give you better ping to your favorite games, free to try for the first month. There's a link down below for you. And a big thank you and shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon for supporting the show. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody just for tuning in and watching. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you're looking forward to more in the future, and I'll see you next time.